Minors in children homes under the care of Child Welfare Society of Kenya around the country have suffered in silence. The hope of homeless children left to live under the shadows of a government agency fading in despair. On the lead tonight, KTN's investigative editor Hussein Mohammed has this story of Kenyan minors neglected and abandoned by their own government.
Minors in children's homes under the care of Child Welfare Society of Kenya around the country have suffered in silence. The hope of homeless children left to live under the shadows of a government agency is fading away in despair. After a 6-month investigation, the lead can now reveal how close to $500 million Kenya shillings meant to take care of less fortunate children ended up in the pockets of a few individuals.
Out there, if anybody is listening, please just needs help.
This is the broken story of children dependent on the state. The story of greed, corruption, and betrayal of the trust of one of Kenya's most vulnerable population. Behind the gates of Mama Ngina Kenyatta Children's Home lies a big number of children shadowed by a story of adversity. Children left to suffer under the care of government meant to protect its own. They try to contextualize the dilemma as it unfolds. For months, KTN News has been investigating this, following the cries of the poor children who have no one to go to, children left in the care of the government.
Tumepiga na nyanya, hakuna nyanya, kitunguu ni kama kitunguu mbili. Na hiyo vidongo ni mingi, watoto kama 200. So natumia nyanya kitunguu mbili. Sasa zingine hakuna hata hiyo kitunguu, ni mafuta tu na chumvi. Hakuna. Sasa wale watoto wenye wanatumia dawa ndio wanaumia zaidi.
Exclusive secret camera recording inside this facility obtained by the lead shows tens of children congested in tiny spaces with hardly any room to breathe. Chilling video recording shows how 4 to 5 children share a mattress as they sleep on the floors. These poor Kenyans are here as children of the state. At least 250 children are guests here at Mama Ngina Children's Home, but their drained eyes betray their strands of hope. Strands of hope that tell their story of survival and resilience. Not every child is fortunate to have a bed or a mattress. This child here has no place at all to sleep. He is squeezing himself between 2 beds. The younger, less vocal children are left cowering in corners within the hostels, waiting for dawn.
Nalala chini ya kitanda. Mwingine kuna mwenye hawezi susu, anasusu. Sasa unakuta ile akisusu usiku anaumia. Analala na ile anasusu. So mimi nashindwa hii ni wanaitisha na serikali na hii ni wale watoto. Mbona wanafanya hivi? Wanateseka usiku yote. Kuna siku nilienda nikachungulia kwa dirisha. Nikakuta watoto wanateseka, anatoa kunguni akiweka kwa chupa.
Millions of taxpayers' money have been put in this project. This financial year, the Kenyan government allocated 157 million to complete a project which never even started. KTN News has learned that according to the government records, the project is 60% complete. This is what we witnessed once we were in the facility. Just a perimeter wall. Where did the money meant to help these children sink? This is just the beginning of the cries of children here. Once they get sick, they are taken to a private clinic in Nairobi Central Business District. This clinic, without any signage at all, is called Stallion Rain Associates. What happens inside here is not for the faint-hearted. Children with special needs are sent here for treatment. This 4-year-old child with autism and cerebral palsy is brought here. He is crying already, aware of what awaits him. The type of treatment offered here is called green therapy. a mix of Chinese Oriental medicine and questionable physiotherapy methods.
Ingine moja ina involve kudunga dungo na something a special gadget kenye it's like an electric something inachajiwa. Another one ni a vibrator machine ingine iko kwa gym. Ile unasimamanga kwa gym ina vibrate the whole body. So hizo akikwambia anakwambia venye ina heal kama disease zote.
Most of the nurses here who dared question the therapists were fired. Many of them spoke to us in anonymity, scared for their lives for what they saw inside the facility. This here is called a chargeable acupuncture. It is being administered to this child who has cerebral palsy. The pain is unbearable. The child looks like they are having a convulsion as the machine continues clicking and vibrating. This, according to them, is part of the healing process. As this goes on, other children in the clinic continue crying and writhing in pain, afraid that their turn is unavoidable. This girl has schizophrenia. The nurses are forced to use a comb with rays on her. This, they say, improves brain function. On the other side, another child has what appears to be headphones connected to a machine. This is said to make diagnosis and screening of diseases.
The therapy that is happening there is very painful for the kids. They used to cry all the way through. So they used to use some rechargeable things like pins. So I don't know the names of those things, but they used to place along the joints mostly, and they used to say that those things they help to activate nervous system and make the kids active. I don't know how they work.
For others, it was shocking. These children here were given cards the size of identity cards that would be hung around their necks. The facility operators insist that the cards had healing powers.
A student, just a card like ID. Tunavalisha watu hii ati kwa shingo ati ina heal. Na unakuta the cost is very expensive. So ni vitu funny sana.
Just what is the clinic doing to these poor and vulnerable children? And is this kind of treatment authorized? The lead is in possession of documents showing how between June 2018 and June 2019, this facility was paid close to 27 million Kenya shillings for services rendered. This is taxpayers' money used for medical expenses and therapy sessions that many medical professionals have cast doubt on.
We were told to use unlabeled cars so that nobody can know these kids are from Child Welfare Society. So out there, if anybody is listening, please, those kids needs help. I have tried to access the help I can from them. I have used, even Governor Sonko, I've inboxed Governor Sonko in Twitter. I've tried some bloggers so that they can expose this thing, but everything has, I think, myself.
Black and white of it is, are they legit or not? And the only way to ascertain that is that all food supplements and all herbal medicines are registered with the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, just like pharmaceutical products. So they might have different regulations, but all in all, they have to have a license from the board, which then lets you know what's available legally to the public and what is not.
Is the government agency conducting clinical research and trials on these children? That is the question many of our insiders here were also unable to answer. The lead decided to investigate more on the Child Welfare Society of Kenya. From procurement practices in the organization to the performance of projects undertaken by the Child Welfare Society of Kenya. At Madaraka along Langata Road sits the head office of Child Welfare Society of Kenya. This is where the pilferage jeopardizing thousands of children who are dependent on the state is happening. A well-planned scheme between the contractors and Child Welfare Society of Kenya is at play. Inside the safes are checkbooks, none of them belonging to the society. These are checkbooks of the 4 of the contractors alongside office stamps of the contractors. The lead has established that a social worker and a driver are signatories, and the check leaflets are pre-signed with the two employees appending their signatures and ID numbers on the back of the checks as well. They are then sent to a bank in Kimani, where they deposit the checks issued by the society to the contractor's account, and almost immediately the money is withdrawn.
So we open these accounts where the people who sign the checks, not me personally, but other employees who act as signatories to the contractors. I'll give you a good example. Some of the employees who have been signing this thing, some of them are they even fear for their lives because they have withdrawn a lot of money, but there's nothing they can do about it.
In one company alone, almost 75% went to labor payments in Muranga, and Isiolo, where up to 487 million was paid. The amount used in construction materials also does not add up, in that more money was spent on labor than the materials. The lead is also in possession of financial documents that show how single sourcing was done in purchase and supply of computers to the society. These documents show how personal interests and family ties have left the Child Welfare Society of Kenya in need of welfare. Since 2016, up to 214 staff have been fired, many of them claiming that they have been intimidated after pointing out the problems in the system. An example is that the society has no procurement office, neither has it officers in the procurement desk. The lead can now confirm that the links between the four companies and other service providers have led to the loss of funds of the society. This has endangered the lives of children under the care of the society.
Some of the children have always been sent away from school persistently due to lack of payment of school fees. We've even been writing letters to the schools. And that begs the question, do we have the funding available? The answer is yes. Then what is happening? It is the mismanagement. Go to any home. Currently, if you go, probably they have done their game well. She's good at that. She's trying to streamline things. But basically, anytime you come to Mamangena or any other home, you look at the nature of or the behavior of kids, how they're feeding, the environment, you'll be shocked.
Just check this Rainsol. You can check on the internet like Rainsol International. It's branded like that. They say that it heals CP, that is cerebral palsy. If you take this
Back in the clinic, it is time for the children to take their medicines. Most of these drugs are not tested and approved by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. Most of them in Chinese labeled packages are forced on these helpless souls.
These are drugs given today for one patient.
I will show you.
A child with severe cerebral palsy.
For instance, all these medicines are meant for one patient who has cerebral palsy, and they are supposed to be finished in a dosage of 1 week.
And all these are supposed to...
The Chief Executive Director of the Society for 17 years is Irene Muridi. She has not been available for comment, and our numerous calls and attempts to reach her have gone unanswered. Despite having a board gazetted in 2016, it has never operated. The society has been allocated up to 1.3 billion shillings from the government this financial year to take care of these children. With all the resources and millions of money, children of the state continue being pawns in a financial web, neglected and suffering in the home.
They are making videos for child welfare. It does not matter how they have accessed the information and how they manipulate the information. They are making videos. They have even made things and put on YouTube about child welfare and put a lot of things on Twitter and Facebook about child welfare. Yet, they know very well why they want child welfare to be finished is because of a stand. Child welfare will stand.
Hussein Mohammed, KTN News, The Lead.